It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Kevin McIntosh. Kevin, happy Tuesday. Thanks for being with us.
Such a great day to be here again, Tyler. We got a lot to talk about in the community. It's another day, another opportunity to spread some love and great information. Let's go.
Yeah, some great opportunities for a lot of athletes over the weekend, Kevin. Recently, a familiar face coming back in the community, but maybe perhaps in an unfamiliar role as Donovan Edwards, longtime West Bloomfield High School football star and currently the lead running back at the University of Michigan, was back in town over the weekend for a summer football camp with kids of all ages, both young kids all the way through early in their high school careers, coaching them up, giving them some advice, and teaching them about how to be good students, good community members, and of course, good football players. A lot of activities out there, a lot of opportunities for kids and others to meet Donovan and get to see what happens when you work hard on the gridiron and off the field to achieve some success at the college football level.
That's such a great thing to see coming back and being a great role model that the kids can actually see, touch, and talk to. I think it's such a great thing, man. A great effort on his part, and a great thing for the kids in the West Bloomfield community also.
Yeah, Donovan Edwards entering his senior season at the University of Michigan. You'll also be able to see him not only on the football field every Saturday, sometimes Fridays now, and so on, with the college football schedule being what it is going forward. But you'll also be seeing him in some other big stages as well. He's on the cover, Kevin, of the highly anticipated College Football 25 video game that will be releasing in July. We spoke to West Bloomfield High School head coach Zach Hilbers, who at the time Donovan was at WB, an assistant coach, to get his thoughts on seeing his former blue chip running back as a cover athlete on this video game.
I mean, I guess my initial thought was like, oh my gosh, like, is this fake? Is this real? Is this the real deal? And then you kind of thought about it and like, why not? Why shouldn't it be him? You know, the way last season ended with them winning the national championship and him being such a pivotal part, of that process in those games. I don't know, like it almost feels like a surreal moment for me. It's like, I can't imagine what it felt like for him and his family, but it makes sense. And it's pretty cool to see. I'm not going to lie. I had a lot of people send me that picture the last couple of weeks.
Coach Hilbers also talked to us about what it's been like for not only him, but also their entire coaching staff, the entire community surrounding West Bloomfield High School football that Donovan helped to build and bring some additional notoriety to. What it's like for them to now see not only Donovan's success today, but having known the process to get there and all the talk from Donovan when he was even younger now coming to fruition. Here's what he had to say.
Yeah, it's funny. You kind of laugh about it. You remember back when he was in sixth grade and seventh grade, you just thought like, wow, this kid could be really good. It's like already the size and strength of, the kids on our high school team right now. And then just to see somebody kind of reach their potential and really kind of shoot past it. And we hope he just keeps rising and rising. It's pretty cool because, he grew up running around here and coming here. And it's just, I don't know, it's like those stories you hear of just a little kid that had a dream and, obviously he was very talented, but he worked really, really hard towards it as well. And the combination of those things, it just kind of goes to show you can really, reach on incredible things.
And Kevin, that is exactly what the lesson was from that football camp. That was the purpose of holding that, and not only from Donovan, but from others that have done so over the past several weeks as well. Samaj Morgan was in town. So many former players coming back to help out with these camps as well as some current coaches or recent former coaches from the West Bloomfield program. Really shows not only the bond that this program has, but what can happen when you get a really talented athlete that comes into our school and works really hard at growing not only as a game player, but also as a person off the field.
It makes other kids and students in the area feel like they can do it too. Once you see it, that's why we say representation is everything. Donovan Edwards just representing what West Bloomfield students and residents can achieve, and which is greatness. Cover of college football video game coming out. It's very exciting, and I want to thank Donovan Edwards and all his efforts for giving back to the community too.
Yeah, we've seen recently Trey Mosley, an undrafted free agent, going to the Cincinnati Bengals. Javon Foster drafted just a couple of months ago right here in Detroit, although his drafting was announced in London on location by the Jacksonville Jaguars in the 4th round. We'll probably be seeing Donovan Edwards on the big stage coming up later on this year getting drafted. But first, EA Sports College Football 25 with Donovan Edwards on the cover releases on July 19th, and the University of Michigan kicks off its football season August 31st. That's a 7:30 p.m. game under the lights in the big house at the University of Michigan. Kevin, from a current star to perhaps a future star in the college football landscape, Orchard Lake St. Mary's is a 3-star tight end Jaden Savory made his college decision yesterday, announcing on his X page that he is committing to Michigan State University. He chose the Spartans over rivals Penn State, Wisconsin, Purdue, and Rutgers within the Big Ten, as well as other offers he considered outside the Big Ten from Kansas, from Duke, from BYU, and many others. Savory was also, Kevin, a key member of the basketball team that won a state championship earlier on this season. Still plenty of football left for Jaden at Orchard Lake St. Mary's. He's got one more season with the Eaglets and perhaps another run at a basketball championship as well coming up, and then it'll be on to East Lansing. Congratulations to Jaden, and of course, go green.
Woo! Jaden, congratulations. But see, look, very athletic, can do it in different sports, but that's just the beauty of it, and that's just what we do right here in West Bloomfield. Another product of it. Congratulations, Jaden Savory, MSU. Let's go green.
Yeah, go white. It's going to be an exciting time for the Spartans coming forward with that talent coming in. They already have another Greater West Bloomfield talent there. It's going to be taking a big leap forward this year in Dylan Tatum, who will be in a key role in the defensive secondary as a nickelback and as a safety as well for the Michigan State Spartans. So a lot of Greater West Bloomfield athletes on the big stage coming up in the coming years, both in East Lansing, in Ann Arbor, and in so many other places. Congratulations to all of them on their success. Kevin, close to home today, throughout the rest of the week, hot temperatures are in the forecast, as is high humidity, and with that in the forecast, Oakland County Emergency Management wants to make sure everybody is prepared and understands the resources that are available to them while this heat is affecting our communities. They want you to stay hydrated, of course, limit your outdoor time as much as you possibly can to avoid some of the pitfalls of being exposed to this kind of heat and humidity. And of course, keep mindful of how your body feels. If you need to go indoors, if you need to get in the shade, you need to cool off, you gotta listen to your body. And if you're struggling to find a place to go do that, to go cool off during the day, there are cooling centers available all throughout the Oakland County area, including nearby us here in the Greater West Bloomfield communities. The two closest open cooling centers at this time are the Caustic Center on 11 Mile Road in Farmington Hills and the Robert Bowens Senior Center. That's on Bagley Street in Pontiac for those in the Tri-Cities. If you're looking for even more cooling centers throughout Oakland County, when they are open, if they are open, and how far away they are, their locations, you can visit oakgov.eo on Facebook, facebook.com/oakgov.eo for more information on that. Really important to stay cool during this time, Kevin. It can get really hot outside very quickly and really affect us each and every day.
Of course, that's why one of the first things they tell us is stay hydrated first and foremost. Don't go outside unless you have to for certain things. And I wouldn't even be mad at having an umbrella at this time. Walking around with an umbrella to keep that extra shade actually makes sense also. So yes, continuously stay alert in these hot temperatures and look into those cooling centers that are around the Oakland County area.
Yeah, we've got even more information on that coming up here in just a moment. It's really important to keep all of this in mind because there are
Correct.
possible severe effects from exposure to this heat for prolonged periods. Joining us to talk a little bit about what you can do today and throughout the rest of this week as you battle the heat is Sergeant Blake Abelski from the West Bloomfield Fire Department. Thank you for being with us, Sergeant.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, happy to have you on. It's a really important conversation to have as we're addressing heat in the 90s or even close to triple digits as we go through this week. Very high humidity as well and a lot of sunshine in the forecast also. So as we have this beautiful weather but this hot weather, what are some of the potential hazards that come along with it?
Well, you guys made some fantastic points. If you find yourself unable to avoid the heat that's coming, you need to really start paying attention to the signs that your body's giving you. Everyone's typical reaction to these temperatures is to start feeling warm. You're going to notice that your body is sweating, maybe more than you're used to in some situations. Even if you're not engaging in any physical activity, you're going to be sweaty. You're going to be thirsty as your body tries to compensate for the hydration that you're losing. You might start feeling dizzy and nauseous, and you might even start feeling some cramps developing. And those are early signs that your body is starting to struggle to deal with the heat. The best way to address that is to, again, like you said, find those cooling centers, get back inside. If you can find an air-conditioned environment, that's fantastic. If you don't have air conditioning, use fans, jump in the shower, take a bath, anything you can do to cool yourself off, rehydrate with water, some Gatorade if you feel like you need some electrolytes. Anything beyond that cramping and the nausea, that gets into an area that we know is heat exhaustion, and that can become more dangerous, especially for some of our older residents who may have some underlying medical conditions that they're dealing with.
Yeah, and that's a really important point, Sergeant, because when we get to that point where we're not listening to our bodies, or we're toughing it out, okay, a few more minutes and I'll be fine, or you're thinking about, oh yeah, look, I'm feeling the heat a little bit here, no pun intended, but I'm also not exactly feeling so great myself as well. We start to get into that point where, as you mentioned, heat exhaustion and heat stroke start to potentially loom their ugly heads on us. But we want to know the difference because they have some similarities, but they're very different in how they manifest and in how they affect the body.
Yes. So heat exhaustion is going to be more severe symptoms than just the I'm feeling thirsty or I'm feeling tired. This is going to be the I'm nauseous and I'm feeling clammy and I can't really engage in the normal activities that I would typically be able to do. And if those start lasting over an hour, then that's going to be a time where you want to start seeking medical attention, whether it's getting yourself to a doctor or the hospital or even calling 911 and letting our paramedics come and assess you and then transport you to a hospital if needed. Heat stroke is a much later condition where your body is no longer able to compensate for the heat that you're experiencing. You've become so dehydrated that you can't sweat anymore, and your body has lost the ability to cool itself. So your skin is going to be very red, very dry, very hot. You're going to start feeling a rapid pulse. You're going to be at risk of becoming confused and making decisions that could be detrimental to your health. You could lose consciousness, and your body is going to start, as a result of being so dehydrated, you're going to start experiencing more and more medical conditions the longer you wait to seek treatment.
And so with that, it's really important to keep track of those symptoms that you were mentioning, because if you're feeling some of those symptoms, you're continuing to spend time outside, whether you're exercising, you're working in the yard, or even you're just hanging out with friends and family and enjoying the sunshine. Ignoring those can have some severe effects on your body if you are especially suffering from heat stroke long term and don't get that treatment. What are some of the dangers that come along with not immediately taking yourself out of that situation and either cooling off or, as you mentioned, calling 911, getting paramedics out there to assess you and hopefully treat you and alleviate the symptoms?
I mean, at a certain point, your body is going to start compensating by shutting down the organs that it deems non-essential to surviving in that moment. Your kidneys will shut down. You run the risk of being so dehydrated and experiencing electrolyte imbalance that you start having symptoms of a heart attack, symptoms of a stroke. It's so important that you stay hydrated and stay cooled in these situations. And like we said, confusion can set in pretty early. So we may not always be the best judges of our own condition. So it's going to be very important to keep an eye on the people that are around us and our loved ones in our homes, and make sure that they are taking care of themselves, because we aren't always the best of taking care of ourselves and judging our own conditions.
And so if we are keeping an eye out, if we are seeing these symptoms in our loved ones and our friends and strangers when we're out and about in this heat over the next few days or any time throughout the summer, what are some actions that people can take, including when they're in between that moment when they're noticing these symptoms and first responders are arriving?
If somebody can take drinks of water, small sips preferably. We don't want to run the risk of them vomiting and losing even more fluids. Help them get rehydrated if you can. If you can get them cooled down with some damp rags or even ice packs. Slow and steady actions here. But purposeful rehydration, slow but purposeful cooling. We don't want them to get too cold too fast and start shivering, because that's counterproductive to what we're trying to do. And then stay with them until responders get there. We want to make sure that you're able to help the responders understand what was happening before we arrived, so that we have a clear understanding of what treatment that patient needs.
We're joined by Blake Belsky from the West Bloomfield Fire Department. He's a sergeant with them as we talk about addressing the heat over these coming days. We're expecting extremely high temperatures throughout the remainder of this week. And then, look, we're getting closer to July and to August when we're having those peak summer heat season temperatures and humidity. So all good advice from the West Bloomfield Fire Department. You can keep up to date with them and even more advice all throughout the year on Facebook at WB Fire Department. Sergeant Belsky, as we're thinking about these different ways we can protect ourselves, you mentioned it, we've talked about it, getting into the shade, going indoors in front of air conditioning or a fan, maybe even jumping in the shower and getting cooled off in that way. But what are some other maybe more unconventional ways or more creative ways that people can also address trying to stay cool while continuing to work out in the yard and have fun outside with their friends?
Those things are all still okay. Make sure you're taking breaks. Make sure that you are getting inside and getting some cool liquids to drink. Maybe take some breaks by doing some activities that you don't normally get a chance to engage in. Get up to the library. They've got air conditioning. They've got some fantastic books that maybe you haven't checked out in a while. Might be a great time to go see a movie in a nice air-conditioned theater. Find those activities that are weather appropriate. You wouldn't jump in the lake typically in the middle of the winter, and you wouldn't normally stay outside in 100-degree heat for too long. So again, just make sure that you're making good choices. Make sure that the people around you are making good, healthy choices.
More information and sage advice from the West Bloomfield Fire Department can be found on WB Fire Department on Facebook. You can also find more information on how to get in contact with the fire department on wbtownship.org. That includes a non-emergency number for even more advice or questions you may have about fire safety, indoors, outdoors, heat safety, or other things you may need. And of course, if you have an emergency, dial 911 and they will be there as soon as they can to help you address these issues. Sergeant Belsky, before we let you go, anything else that we should be keeping abreast of on this issue as we're going through this hot week ahead and a hot couple of months coming ahead too with those forecasts?
Keep an eye on the forecast. Plan accordingly. If you've got weather alerts on your phone, those are useful. Plan your wardrobe, plan your activities, plan your meals, and your hydration accordingly. Stay informed. That's the best way to stay safe.
We appreciate your time. Thank you, Sergeant.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Sergeant Blake Belsky from the West Bloomfield Fire Department joining us on the Splash Live today as we are expecting heat in the 90s, high humidity as well, all throughout the rest of this week and into the weekend. Kevin, really great advice. We want to make sure people are keeping safe and keep all of this stuff in mind, because whether you're outside for a couple of hours or a couple of minutes, you're going to be feeling these temperatures.
Great answers and responses from Sergeant Belsky, just in regards to things to keep in mind when we are moving around or even trying to do things outside in these crazy heat temperatures. Yes, and I do agree with the fact, try to do some things indoors where there is some AC. Go to a nice movie, go to the mall or something like that. Spend some time in there, cool off a little bit. Those could be used as cooling centers, quote unquote, too. So great information to pass on to the community, though.
Hey, look, you don't have to have all that time. You're having fun in the summer. Have to be outdoors. Some of it can be outdoors and then go indoors. A great opportunity for that is going to be tomorrow during the Juneteenth Jamboree at West Bloomfield Town Hall. There's going to be activities at the Recreation Activity Center. There's going to be activities at the library, a chance to spend some time out in the sunshine. Hopefully a beautiful day ahead of us for that celebration and be indoors. And also, you'll never miss any of the action by following us across our social media and on the web with Civic Center TV. Here's a QR code on your screen right now as we speak on civiccentertv.com. You scan that and you'll have direct links to our Facebook page at Civic Center TV 15 where you can follow us, and also you can follow us on Instagram and subscribe to us for free on YouTube at Civic Center TV. And of course, all of our conversations, all of our programs, including our recent discussion on heat and some safety tips for you from Sergeant Belsky at the fire department. On demand, civiccentertv.com is the place to go. A hot night is also the perfect night to cool off in the water, as Sergeant Belsky said, Kevin, and a great place to do that with some extra food and fun along the way is at Lily Pad Springs. You can join them out there for the Twilight Tuesday sessions that began last week, the second week of this effort all throughout the summer, every Tuesday now through August 20th, including tonight at 6:30 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. Not only will there be fun and games and all the activities there in the water at the splash park, there will also be food trucks tonight and next week. EGA Street Salad is the food truck on site for this event. Now, Kevin, it's a busy time of the year. It's peak season for Lily Pad Springs, so you do have to register to get tickets to attend this event and other days at Lily Pad Springs, so it's really easy to do so. You go on wbparks.org/lilypadsprings, and you can sign up for not only their Twilight Tuesday sessions, but any other time. This is a great week to get the kids out for some fun in the sun and in the water as well at West Bloomfield Splash Park.
Perfect for anybody who needs to go right after work. Just go right after work, right after you get through the traffic, get home, get yourself together, then you can head there right in time. But yes, it makes sense. Register in time. That way we don't have a rush and influx of people just coming through out of nowhere. So yes, register in advance if you need to, but I love the idea of having this later in the evening though.
Yeah, it's going to be a real fun time out there on Tuesday night tonight at Lily Pad Springs, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. And Kevin, if that's not enough fun or you're not able to get out there tonight, there's going to be fun and music in the park while the sun is getting ready to set on Thursday night at Marshbank Park. The Kids Commotion Concert Series continues on. Actually, it's in the morning. It used to always be in the evening. They've had a couple to start off the season this year in the mornings for parents to get outside and get those kids' energy out in the park and enjoy some music and some fun and games. That's Thursday at 10 a.m. at Marshbank Park. The Children's Theater of Michigan, the featured artist for this edition of the Kids Commotion Concert Series. Our friends at the Optimist Club of West Bloomfield will also be there selling some snacks, and all that goes to support their organization and supporting the community as well. We've had a chance to go out and enjoy some of these concerts. If you're not convinced just yet, here's an inside look from our very own Peyton Skyver.
Kids of all ages are gathering for some musical fun here at the Kids Commotion Concert hosted by West Bloomfield Parks. The event, which is hosted here at Marshbank Park, has free inflatables, food and refreshments for purchase, and lots of family-friendly music, making it the perfect family experience for the summertime.
Kids Commotion has been going on for about 15 years now, always in Marshbank Park. It's a free event for the city. Residents and non-residents come and enjoy a concert, a fairy tale entertainer, and a number of inflatables on the hill. We have concessions available from the Optimist Club, which we're really happy to be partnered up with them for every series of the Kids Commotion event. We are also partnered with the West Bloomfield Library, and they're hosting a nice craft for the kiddos to enjoy here. We're excited to have our sponsor, Goldfish Swim School, giving away freebies and treats for the kids, and I see a lot of smiling faces on the hill and a lot of people excited for the music, so I'm really looking forward to this evening.
It's a perfect day. The event is going really well so far. I've got my kids running around the playground somewhere. But no, we're really happy to be here, really happy to put this on every year. It's the first one of the season, and we're very excited about it. Looking forward to this one and the rest to come.
What are you most excited about to see here today?
You know what? I'm most excited to see all the residents finally being able to be outside. I felt like we were shut in for so long throughout the winter months. And today we're talking about 80 degrees, sunny. Everyone's here, the residents are here, and we're just here to have a good time.
So we actually came last year and we had a lot of fun. I have a 3-year-old and she loved the concert. She loved the musicians and the band and all the bounce houses. Just such a great event.
Yeah, it's just a great experience for my son to be here to listen to live music and see all the kids dancing. There's food, there's playscapes. I can't really complain about that, and it's a beautiful day. We have friends in the area, and I can tell he already likes it by his dancing. So this is his first concert. As long as he does well, we'll be back.
I hope to see our events grow in the future with just more participants becoming involved. I'd love to see a longer length of a concert. 2 hours seems to go by in a blink of an eye, and to have another band involved, or maybe more fairy tale characters, or just some more vendors to kind of throw in the mix would be really awesome to incorporate into the event.
So there's lots of fun to be had here at the Kids Commotion Concert. Be sure to check out wbparks.org for when the next concert will be held this summer. With Civic Center TV, I'm Peyton Skyver.
Appreciate the report, Peyton. Again, all of those concerts, those dates coming up can be found on wbparks.org. Their next one is Thursday morning, 10 a.m. at Marshbank Park. And, of course, keep up to date with them on their social media in case of inclement weather or the heat affecting those concerts. That's where you'll get those updates. Facebook at WB Parks. And, of course, if we hear about it, we'll let you know on the Splash Live as well. Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Still plenty more to get to across our 4 communities. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Bringing you stories and memories from West Bloomfield. Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on civiccentertv.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at civiccentertv.com and click schedule at the top of the screen. And now, back to the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Keefe, joined as always by Kevin McIntosh. And Kevin, we have a lot of people that are working behind the scenes across our 4 communities to keep everything running, keep the lights on, and all of our programs running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They work very hard, including our friends over at the West Bloomfield Township Clerk's Office, who recently did some work behind the scenes to get some recognition overdue for the West Bloomfield Township Board and their work on our annual budget. Joining us to talk about a special recognition they just received is Allison Breuer from the West Bloomfield Township Clerk's Office. She is their budget and pension manager. Allison, thank you for being with us. And first off, just tell us a little bit about the award that the township has received and what work you did and others did in the process to receive this designation.
This is a very unique award. In order for a local government to receive this award, they have to meet certain criteria that the GFOA has set up, and we're really set up to help promote transparency to our stakeholders. It is a policy document that talks about what the government's policies are, a financial plan for the upcoming year, and an operations guide for how we're going to meet our goals for the year. What's really unique is of the 90,000 local governments in the United States, only 1,700 receive this award each year. And it really does take the teamwork of all of our departments and the elected officials to meet these criteria, and their support in applying for the budget award from GFOA. But we're so thrilled that West Bloomfield Township has received this award for the first time.
And because it's such a rarity, and because there are such stringent requirements that go into even qualifying for this distinction from the Government Finance Officers Association, what does that say about the work that you and that your team are doing as you're helping to craft this budget, and really what the budget process is like for West Bloomfield Township?
Well, I think it really reflects that that our staff and our board of trustees is really committed to the highest principles of budgeting and transparency to our residents and our stakeholders, and that we are using best practices really across the country in trying to put this document together and plan for not only the upcoming year, but for the future of West Bloomfield Township.
Joining us on the program, Allison Breuer, the Budget and Pension Manager at West Bloomfield Township, as they recently received a Distinguished Budget Presentation Award from the Government Finance Officers Association. It was announced last night at the West Bloomfield Township Board meeting that they received this, and you can find that on CivicCenterTV.com. Allison, you've mentioned a lot about transparency playing a key role in what is ultimately being distinguished from the GFOA. In this award. So from the township's perspective, how does transparency play a role in not only the budget process, but the availability of that information after the fact?
Well, definitely having the budget on the website for our residents and stakeholders to see not only what goes into the budget process, but how they can play a role, provide input to their elected officials at our special budget meetings, at the public hearing we hold for the budget prior to adoption. And really, it's the Board of Trustees that are the policymakers and are adopting that financial plan for the township. So them as the voters are really the ones that are the decision makers.
And what's interesting, too, about these local municipal budgets is that they're pre-planned, sometimes usually several months before that year even starts. And as it goes through the year and you realize there are more needs in some areas than others, it is in some ways a living and breathing document that does then go back to the township board and does go back to the public in some capacity. So from your office's standpoint, how is the budget a year-long management project? How does that play into sort of your role at the township on a day-to-day basis?
Sure. Well, we are already in June starting our budget kickoff process for 2025, looking at our capital planning for the next 5 years, beginning in 2025 through 2029. But what we're also doing is looking at the 2024 budget. How are revenues coming in? How are we doing on our expenditures? We're always looking at any variances that we have or any anomalies that might require us to do a budget amendment. But it is a constant monitoring process so that we can ensure that if we need a budget amendment, that we go and get that authorization from the Board of Trustees so that we are not spending outside of what they have appropriated for us to use by each government activity.
And once again, West Bloomfield Township awarded the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award from the Government Finance Officers Association. And Allison, before we let you go, I just want to go back to even just the process of applying for this distinguished award. Why even go for something like this? What does this ultimately mean for our township beyond just necessarily the rarity that a municipality gets awarded this?
What I always find most useful is the feedback. The document is actually peer reviewed by 3 other government finance professionals outside of the state of Michigan. And they are reviewing the document and seeing if it meets the criteria. And then they provide feedback and maybe some comments for ways to improve the document. So while we did a lot of work to meet those criteria, what I'm most excited about is implementing the comments from our reviewers to make the budget document an even better communication tool to tell our residents what we're doing now and what we're planning for the future.
Well, we congratulate you and you, the entire clerk's office, the treasurer's department, and all at West Bloomfield Town Hall that go into making our budgets each and every year and ultimately qualifying you for this distinguished honor from the Government Finance Officers Association. Allison, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for helping us spread the good news. Appreciate it.
Always happy to help spread the good news from across our 4 communities when they have a big accomplishment come forth. That certainly is the case for our friends at the clerk's office, the entire township board, the treasurer's office, and everyone involved in the budgeting process to show that that transparency is there and that not only are they doing great with keeping the community informed on the budget process, but are doing a great job crafting that each and every year. A much deserved accomplishment for our friends over there. Kevin, we got some new friends joining us on the program here very soon, and we'll have a big celebration for the Juneteenth Jamboree at West Bloomfield's Civic Center campus on Wednesday this week, including a special edition of the Splash Live. You'll be here in the studio along with Sonia James from the West Bloomfield School District. We'll also have our own Jake Schaff out in the field. Some other members of the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force will be joining us, and the newest member of our team will be joining us as well, Thais Leverett, who is with us now on the Splash. Ty, thank you for being with us and welcome to the team.
Thank you so much, Tyler. Great to see you this morning.
Yeah, good to see you as well. Happy to have you on the program, and we know you got a day job, so we're gonna try to get through this quickly and get you back out there. But with that being the case, what motivated you to want to get into television broadcasting with us at Civic Center TV?
It's funny. I always considered broadcast journalism as my secret dream job, if you will. So just the opportunity to do something at a community level, I think it's great. I get to learn more about the community, meet more residents, and secretly live out a little bit of my dream in the process. So I'm excited.
And can you share a little bit of the journey that led you to this moment, not only in your day-to-day career, but just that love you've always had for broadcasting that's drawn you to this moment?
Absolutely. So again, as a little kid, I would watch the news and think, man, I would love to do that either behind an anchor desk or out in the field, gathering a story. So it's a perfect merger, really, of what I do in my day job. I have to talk to people a lot in my current role. So this will just add to that and give me a little bit more skills as well.
And we're glad to have you with us on the team. Thais Leverett from Civic Center TV. We'll see a lot of her tomorrow on Wednesday at the Juneteenth Jamboree alongside her friends at West Bloomfield Parks, the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force, and so many of you out in the community that will be out celebrating the holiday along with us. Ty, you're also a volunteer for this event too, so you got some special insight into this. Give us a little bit of a preview about what really makes this such a special day in Greater West Bloomfield.
Of course. So if you know the history of Juneteenth, it really celebrates the end of slavery in the United States and something that needs to be recognized more broadly. And this is just one element of it at a community level. I think it's great that West Bloomfield has elected to do this for the past couple of years now, because it really highlights the diversity that exists within our community and allows us all to come together to celebrate not only the history, but what it means even this far out from slavery. And it helps us to understand one another as residents of West Bloomfield. It just gives us an opportunity to share. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow and other celebrations of similar diversity celebrations for sure.
And that's a great point, too, because not only is the Juneteenth Jamboree a great celebration of diversity and of a major historic moment in our country's history, but this is also all part of the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force, who you've been volunteering with for a number of years as well. So as we talk about that, tell the public, which this is open to anybody in our community to join, what you've taken away so far from your involvement in this task force.
Sure. I think it's the learning. So it's understanding other cultures that, we live side by side and work with every single day in West Bloomfield. I think that's a wonderful thing, of course, that needs to continue to be celebrated. As a parent, I'm a parent of 3 children, 2 of which have graduated from West Bloomfield High are now in college, and I have a 4th grader. And I want them to be able to learn about who they live and go to school with. So I think being a part of the diversity task force allows us to think of ideas and creative ways to get everyone involved. As you mentioned, Tyler, it's open to anyone to join, irrespective of ethnicity, gender. I mean, that is the exact point. We want to get as many different perspectives and ideas that we can. Again, we want to put on program like we're doing tomorrow with Juneteenth. We have other programming highlighting Women's History Month, and all the months that we can have in the calendar, we can do something for that. We just need more people involved and more people that want to support and be contributors. And we're looking at open arms to have that happen.
Thais Leverett is with us, the newest member of our team at Civic Center TV. We want to encourage you to join us for tomorrow, a special edition of the Splash Live. The entire team will be not only in the studio, but out and across the community for the Juneteenth Jamboree and celebration with the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force. Jake Schaff will be out there. We'll have, of course, Ty out at the Town Hall complex as well, and so many members of the community joining us, as well as Sonia James in studio alongside Kevin McIntosh. That available on civiccentertv.com and across our social media. Now, Ty, your day job is working at Stellantis, and so you got a busy day-to-day life on top of your volunteer efforts, and now you're also joining our team at Civic Center TV. So I have to ask, as another very busy person that sometimes struggles with that balance, how do you manage all of this and keep that balance while also being a mother?
Well, that's a great question, Tyler. Sometimes I don't know how I do it, but I think it's a matter of just being organized and then also having a process to track all the things you need to do. Obviously, I live and breathe off of calendars, whether they be digital or I'm old school. I have a book right here. I write things down. I like to do that as well. So, having the organization, being able to prioritize, what needs to be handled immediately. And then from there, being able to look at the rest of your calendar or tasks and just figure out, all right, what can I handle next? So being very directionally driven as well is also helpful. But I think sometimes for me personally, I have to have some of those outside of work activities that feeds my spirit, that gets me excited, helps me to perform better in my day job. So for me, I kind of need a lot of different things to help me perform at my top level. So I don't know if that answered your question, Tyler. I'm still a work in progress, but we'll see how things go.
Hey, it's some good advice. Keep that calendar and write it down. I had a trigonometry teacher that would always say, look, write all your notes down. Don't type it out. Don't just keep it in the back of your mind. If you wrote it, you know it. So it's good advice from you as well. Finally, as we wrap this up, we know we got to get you back to your busy day. Can you share just any personal experiences that have continued to motivate you as you're continuing to being active in your day-to-day roles and involved in the community, but also now taking a step forward to be representative of your community in its community media as well?
I will reference a name that many West Bloomfield residents know. She was a close friend of mine, Sherry Ann. As we know, she passed away not that long ago, and she and I would talk a lot about volunteerism. She encouraged me to get involved in a lot of the things that I've been involved in. And I hadn't been doing so at the level that I wanted to. And I think with her passing, it allowed me to really reflect and say, hey, I can be doing more. I want to do more. Now it's time to, put the put your money where your mouth is, or whatever the phrase is. But it's time to take action. Not just say I want to do something, but actually get out there and do it. So I think, Tyler, that's probably the best personal motivator for me, just thinking about my friend and how big of a contributor she was to this community. And if I could do a fraction of what she did, I'd be honored to say that.
Yeah, big shoes to fill, definitely, in our West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force and in our overall volunteer community. Sherry Ann Winter, so heavily involved in so many different areas of our community. Ty, we appreciate you joining us to be on the show today, and be back with us again for even more going forward, including our big live broadcast tomorrow for our Juneteenth special at the Juneteenth Jamboree. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Yeah, you as well, and welcome to the team. Kevin, an exciting time for us here at Civic Center TV, a big broadcast coming up, a really fun day and a really educational day over at the Civic Center complex with the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force. All right, we're having some audio issues there with Kevin. We'll have that full live broadcast for you tomorrow right here on Civic Center TV. Once again, we'll put up that QR code we've got with all of our social media, because you'll find us live not only on Civic Center TV and on civiccentertv.com. We'll be on Facebook. We'll be on YouTube as well. You'll see some clips and some individual interviews, not only from today's show and the Juneteenth show, but all of our programming also available on our Instagram as well. You scan that QR code, you click on those links, and you'll be all good to go with us here at Civic Center TV. Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Still a lot more to get to before we wrap things up on this Tuesday edition of The Splash Live. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
Good nutrition can help make sure you have enough iron, calcium, and vitamin C in your body, which can make it harder for lead to enter your bloodstream. Help protect your family from the harmful effects of lead.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
1 in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy. And if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
Bringing you stories and memories from Kego Harbor, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Alongside Kevin McIntosh, I'm Tyler Keith with the latest stories close to home across our 4 communities, West Bloomfield, Kego Harbor, Orchard Lake, and Sylvan Lake, as we go through the latest news, information, and fun events happening all throughout our community. And everyone loves to get out and about and spend some time with their friends. And, Kevin, sometimes it's also fun to spend some time with our friends on 4 legs.
Yes, that's why there's a unique Drinking with Dogs event coming to our West Bloomfield area. And joining us here on The Splash Live to talk more about that is Director of Marketing and Client Experience from K9 to 5 in the Metro Detroit area, Samantha Hilmers. Now, Samantha, can you just start off by telling us what can we expect from this unique event?
We partner up with local businesses around our locations, and we invite the community of dog lovers to come with their dogs and have a drink with us. So it's a great way to bond with the community over a shared interest, for sure.
Nice. And we're talking about this event, which is Wednesday, June 19th at the Library Pub, correct?
Yeah.
So let's talk about why this business specifically within West Bloomfield was chosen?
Yeah, so we like to look at first we look at location. So any place that's around a local K9 to 5. So we have K9 to 5 in Commerce Township. And then we look at somebody that has a really nice outdoor patio that's going to be safe for the dogs. So we don't like to have the dogs all on top of each other. The library pub has a nice fenced in patio area as well. So we think it's going to be perfect for this type of event.
Okay, yep. Now that makes sense. You still want to let them, roam a little bit, have some freedom, not be out in the hot sun, a little bit of shade or whatever the case may be. So that definitely makes sense. And it's great that you are bringing this event to the West Bloomfield community. We have a great community of dog lovers here, so I think it's very exciting for them to get out there and be a part of this. So this is not the first. This isn't the inaugural event for you all. So how has this event evolved over the last couple of years?
Yeah, so we've actually been doing this since 2007. So we started with our Midtown Detroit location. We've been doing them in Detroit for a very long time. And they've evolved just to expand throughout our other locations. So we have a Ferndale location. We just opened an Eastside Detroit location. So we have some Grosse Pointe drinking with dogs, and we have some Commerce, around Commerce Township drinking with dogs. So it has definitely blown up since 2007 to, there's a lot of people that come to these. And now we've expanded to help local rescues get involved too with these events.
Okay. All right, Samantha, you ready? Here's my stupid question. Drinking with dogs. We're at the library pub. I'm assuming the owners are possibly drinking adult beverages and the dogs are maybe drinking water. Or
yes.
Are the dogs at the bar? Are the owners drinking with the water? I just want to.
Sometimes. So we've had one event, I think it was maybe last year or 2 years ago, where at the Hammer and Nail in Detroit, where they did make a doggy cocktail. So some events, they do make doggy cocktails. Usually it is just water though.
Wow, that's okay. Yeah. But that's nice though. Overall, it's just talking about bringing the owners, their pets together, and just camaraderie, letting the pets meet other pets, dog talk, or however they do, whatever the case may be, and just have great camaraderie. Join us right here on the Splash Live. Director of Marketing and Client Experience from K9 to 5 Metro Detroit. We have Samantha Hilmer talking about the Drinking with Dogs events Wednesday, June 19th at the Library Pub. Is there any registration required for this event at all?
No, this event is free. It's open to the public. We just ask that all the dogs are, of course, leash friendly. Everybody has to stay on leash. If anybody seems uncomfortable, we do have staff there that, might ask you to leave. So we just want to make sure everybody has a good time.
Oh, okay. So this isn't necessarily going to be just dog owners and dogs either. This is actually, you can still be a regular patron and come in, but obviously the establishment and you all are making sure, like you said, everyone is comfortable, no one's there. Like if you're allergic to dogs, they'll probably tell you in advance type of thing. So okay, yeah. Thank you for that information. So how do you feel like events like this actually help community engagement, if it does at all?
It does help community engagement because there's already a really big following around these Drinking with Dogs events. Like I said, we've been doing them for a long time. So not only do we have the regular people who come to every single Drinking with Dogs events, they tell their friends. It kind of spreads around. The internet is a nice tool for this. So it spreads around on the internet, and it gets people involved. When we expand out to our other locations like Commerce Township, it helps just draw that area in as well. And of course, incorporating the local rescue, that helps us as well get the community more involved.
Oh, okay, so that was great segue. I want to transition into that and just talk about how is it just impactful for you all to partner with local dog and animal rescues, and just talk about that partnership.
Yeah, so one of our core value, our mission statement is to provide exceptional care for dogs. And we like that to extend beyond just the dogs in our actual care. So we want to take exceptional care for dogs for all dogs. So we love to reach out to Detroit Dog Rescue, Michigan Humane, the Midwest Small Breed Rescue. We've helped a lot of, local rescues benefit their dogs by just, donating, by providing adoption events, in these events where they're going to be able to be there. They'll bring an adoptable dog. people can have the opportunity to donate right on site.
Oh, that's nice. That's what's up. And I always highly encourage the adoption of dogs or going to a shelter and helping out animals that are looking for owner rather than going to a pet store. I mean, I understand it, but there's plenty of animals that are already out here that need that love, need that, companionship. So it's great that you all are partnering with local rescue organizations to make things like this happen. So real quick, let's just take some time just to give some information out about K9 to 5. What are some of the other services and things that you all do and offer?
Yeah, so K9 to 5 has doggy daycare, overnight dog boarding, and dog grooming. What's unique about K9 to 5 is we have an overnight attendant. So if your dog does have to stay with us overnight, there's somebody in the building with them. Doggy daycare is great, even if you work from home. I know a lot of people work from home now. Their dog's bored out of their mind at home. So it's not just for babysitting. We provide enrichment, companionship, exercise. So everything that you need so your dog doesn't drive you crazy. And then dog grooming, of course, is important no matter what type of coat your dog has. We do have haircuts, but just baths, nail trims, teeth brushing, all that good stuff is really beneficial for your dog.
Nice. Are there any additional events that K9 to 5 has coming up in our local area that we can be, or just anything that you want to promote with the events from K9 to 5?
Yeah, for sure. So actually on Sunday, June 3rd, we are starting to do these K9 community walks on the West Bloomfield Trail. So we're going to have one on Sunday, June 3rd. But after that, June 23rd, sorry. After that, we're also having kind of like a workshop where you can craft enrichment toys for Detroit Dog Rescue shelter dogs. So that's going to also happen on June 23rd from 12 to 2 at K9 to 5 Commerce. You can make little, we're kind of have like PVC pipes, and you can make little enrichment crafts for the shelter dogs.
Oh, that's nice. Great that you all are doing those different things just to get out in the community, get involved, have activities for dog owners and dogs together. That is a great thing, just to kind of break up the monotony of being in a home all day type thing. So I completely understand that. Any additional information regarding this event that we didn't cover, or anything at all regarding K9 to 5 that you want to give to the community before we let you go?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything.
Okay. So no registration fee or anything, no cost, right? Just
Nope.
Okay, good. Just making
Free
sure.
and open to the public. Just got to make sure we have a leash-friendly dog.
Absolutely. More information, k9to5.com. Director of Marketing and Client Experience for K9 to 5 Metro Detroit, Samantha Hilmer. Thank you so much for your time and joining us.
Thank you.
K9 to 5's Drinking with Dog event is Wednesday, June 19th at the Library Pub. A great event for you to take your leash-friendly dog and other dog owners within the community to go socialize and just meet each other. So great thing. Thank you again to Samantha Hilmer for joining us and taking time to explain a very unique event for the dog lovers in our community, Tyler.
Yeah, sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun on Wednesday night out at the Library Pub. So if you're looking for an activity, you want to get your dogs out and, hey, look, even socialize them a little bit. It can be indoors, outside of that hot sun. Maybe take a day off the dog park and do something unique in our community. Really cool event. Good to hear from Samantha about all of that and how it's expanded to now be right out here in the greater West Bloomfield community. Kevin, it is inching closer to Olympics season, and over the weekend we, of course, saw swim trials to determine which men and women are going to be swimming for Team USA in just a couple of months in Paris. And closer to home, the relays are all for fun here in West Bloomfield. Take a look at this video on your screen from Goldfish Swim School in West Bloomfield. This is their swim instruction relay. Some team building, some fun, some laughter, and of course, all of that for the bragging rights between some of their employees at our local swim school inside of the Orchard Mall. As they put it, quote, "Where learning meets laughter." Even some spectators outside looking through the windows at that swim competition from their employees, going from one side to the other, showing off their skills earlier on this week. Pretty close competition, it looked like, too, Kevin.
It does look a lot fun and a great way to cool off, especially during these hot times, man. Very competitive. I'm too competitive to do something like this, but it seemed like everybody there had fun with smiling faces, man.
Hey, look, I can keep myself afloat in the pool. I can swim for myself, but competitive, wouldn't even stand a chance. I'd still be the other side of the pool when the rest of the Goldfish team got to the finish line. So good competition there just down the road from us. Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Just like that, we are out of time for today. Again, we want to encourage you to come back with us on Wednesday. Very special show will be all throughout the community, including here in our studio for the Juneteenth Jamboree. In the meantime, CivicCenterTV.com. Big thank you to all of our team, Peyton Skyver, Jake Schaff, and Calvin Brown at Master Control, alongside Kevin McIntosh. I'm Tyler Kieft. Thanks for tuning in to the Splash Live.